Alright guys, so things that you're going to need for this project. I went and bought a Minecraft cardboard Steve head cutout. You can make one yourself. I just didn't have the time for it, so I just bought one. You're going to need 3 alligator clips for the programming. You're going to need a Raspberry Pi. This is the Raspberry Pi 3 and a Raspberry Pi camera. You're also going to need a microbit. This is what's going to trigger the selfie picture. Duct tape to hold the microbit and Raspberry Pi camera into the eyes. I also use some mailing tape because it's brown, so that way it blends in a little bit better, but that's completely up to you. Play-Doh is optional, but I use it to hold the alligator clip for the trigger button. And the other thing that I found to be helpful is just some Velcro Dots. This is used to put the Raspberry Pi case inside the Minecraft Steve head. It just kind of holds it so everything doesn't fall all over the place. So these are the basics of what you need. The basic microbit kit, Raspberry Pi, some wiring cables. Oh, and you need a male to female wire as well, because we're going to plug that into one of the GPIO pins. And then your robot friend, Orko here, he's optional. So let's go ahead and dive into setting everything up. And so what we're going to do over here is I've got a laptop or a computer over here. And so we're going to be plugging in our microbit into the desktop to write some code. And so I have pulled up here the makecode.com website. This is how we're going to code the microbit. We're going to go ahead and just plug this into the laptop. So this is now going to be ready to do some coding. Let a Raspberry Pi load up. And then we can start on the mechanics. So all we want to do here is just make sure that the microbit is working. This is the only reason we're going to use this here. So we're just going to do just a simple command here. We're just going to show an icon. So on start, it's going to show this heart. And so let's go ahead and download this here just to make sure that it works. So we are going to go to Save As. We're going to save it to the microbit. So I'm going to choose the microbit option. Alright, and I can go ahead and then run this. Okay, and it should give me a heart on the screen. So this is downloading. And there's the heart. Okay, so our microbit's in good action there. So there it is. Now we can jump into getting our Raspberry Pi all set and ready to go. Alright, so let's go ahead and get everything wired in. I've got my Raspberry Pi here. We're going to go ahead and plug in the keyboard. Got the camera already clipped into the camera slot. This goes in right here. This slides right on in. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the mouse. And then my HDMI cable to the monitor. Get everything powered up in the power. And then we can go ahead and plug in the Raspberry Pi. Alright, so now that we know that the microbit works, we're actually going to unplug it. And we're going to plug our microbit into our Raspberry Pi. We're going to be installing a software called Moo, which is a micro Python program geared for kids. And so we're going to go ahead and plug our microbit in. And that's just what I like to do. I can see the heart. I know that we're in good shape. And then here on the screen, it's letting us know that we've got something going on here, letting me know that a removable medium has been inserted. So we're going to be just fine, and we're going to just click OK because we're in good shape with that. And there it is. There's the microbit right there in the document. So now we are ready to start to bring this project together. All right, so the next thing we got to do is we got to get a couple things installed. And so we're going to jump up here to our terminal, and we are going to just make sure we have the latest. And so I've already had these installed already, but just in case you haven't, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to type in sudo apt get update. And this is just going to make sure that you're up to date on your Raspberry Pi. And you're going to go ahead and let that install. And once that's installed, we're then going to go ahead and do one more. We're going to install a program called Move. So sudo apt get install Move. And what this is like a MicroPython program, and it's really super fast, and it's designed for microcontrollers. So when you have that installed, you're going to notice then that when you go up here to the menu in the programming, you're going to see the MicroPython editor as an option now. So it's just another thing. It works just like Python really, but it's just a smaller version for microcontrollers, which is super nice and super helpful. So let's go ahead and jump in there. And so what this is going to do, this is going to allow us to actually write some code into our microbit. Now I already have the code already programmed in, just for the sake of time, but I will explain what it is that we're doing here. And so what we've got going on is we are going to use this Move program to write some code. And what we've got, as you can see here, I'll try to zoom in a little bit. We're going to communicate to the microbit, and we're just going to write a simple while command. That if it's true, meaning that if we press the button, which we'll show here in just a setup here in just a minute, that's connected to pin 0. So we're going to have an Alligator clipped onto the microbit on pin 0. If it's touched, across the microbit, it's going to say this display scroll, say cheese in 3, 2, 1, ... You can have it say whatever you want. That's just what I'm typing in. So when we push the button, it'll actually go across the screen. And then it's going to sleep. Remember, these are in milliseconds for like a half second. And then it's going to write to pin 1. And pin 1, you're going to see here in just a minute, is actually connected to GPIO pin 4 on the Raspberry Pi. And we're going to give it the number 1, which means it's going to be on. It's going to be high. And then it's going to be on there for a second or for 5 seconds. And then we're going to turn it off. And so way you go about doing this is, one, after you save it, the way you get it to your microbit is you want to make sure that, one, your microbit's plugged in to your Raspberry Pi. And so I have it already plugged in. I've got my microbit USB cable plugged in there to the micro SD on the microbit here. So I've got it connected. You're going to want to save your file. I've already got mine saved. But when it's all ready to go, you're going to click Flash. And what Flash is going to do, as you can see here, it's going to start to blink the lights on the microbit, as you can see right here, meaning that it's installing this code. And when it's done blinking, that means that it's ready. And so now, don't worry, I'll show you this setup here in just a minute. When I press the Alligator clip button, that's clipped to pin 0, you're going to see that it's going to say cheese in 3, 2, 1. All right, so we've got the microbit all ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and save that. We're going to make sure that that's ready, and that is getting it set up for the button to take a selfie in the Minecraft world. And this is just going to be our indicator that the picture is getting ready to show up here in just a minute. Okay, so let's go ahead and get all this clipped in here. And so what we've got first is our micro bit here. All right. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, if you haven't already, you need to go ahead and get your Raspberry Pi camera plugged in into your Raspberry Pi and get your microbit plugged into your Raspberry Pi. It should already be installed. Keyboard, mouse, all that good stuff. That should already be all installed. Okay, we're then going to take our microbit and we're going to attach one alligator clip to pin 0. We're going to attach a second one to pin 1, and then we're going to attach the third one to the ground. All right. Once we have that, we are going to then add the male-female header, this cable here. Okay, so this is going to go on GPIO pin 4 on the Raspberry Pi. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the male header of this, we are going to clip to the alligator clip that is clipped on number 1. So number 1 connects to this male header here, just like that. All right. If you've already flashed your code, you can still test. So I should be able to just touch the button and it'll say whatever command you've typed in. So we're good there. All right. Now we can go ahead and test this out. And so what I do is I just take a little bit of Play-Doh just for my beginning thing. And I'll just hold this up, especially if I'm doing workshops with kids. It just kind of holds it off the ground so there's no connection. And I'll just set it just like that. So you can see it right there. Okay, so there is that. All right, so now that we got Moo ready and our microbit all set up, I'm just gonna keep that up. I'm actually just gonna move this off to the side. I'm just gonna minimize this guy down. And we're gonna open up Python 3. Make sure it's Python 3, not Python 2. We're to go ahead and open this up. And it's going to open up your shell, which you're going to want to go to a new file to create so we can actually write our code. Now, I already have this code created, and I'll leave the code in the show notes so you can access it. But let's go ahead and open this up so you can see what it looks like. And so what we've got going on here is a long line of code here that I know is going to be a little hard to read, but I'll explain it and you can kind of go through. These, we're just loading in the libraries. So we're getting the camera turned on, we're getting the GPIO 0 library turned on, the Minecraft library, the time library, and this one here, which is going to allow us to do some image converting from our selfie to the Minecraft world. Then we'll open up our communication channel here with MC equals Minecraft.create. Then we're going to take the picture. And so that's what this section of code is right here. And what we've got going on is